So, 2024, it's been quite the year. Political turmoil, the rise of AI, strange times. But 2024 has also been a big year for fast cars. Hybrid hypercars, electric supercoupes, performance SUVs, so many performance SUVs. This year has seen a deluge of cars that will tear your face clean off your skull and all your cash clean out of your wallet. So, because it's that time of year, I figured it would be a good time to do our ultimate fast cars of 2024 tier list. All the quick stuff we've driven this year ranked on YouTube's patented tier system from A to F and also sometimes S. People, there's no science at work here. I'm ranking these cars by performance, personal enjoyment, and also just how I'm feeling right now. And I am a petty man. I make no apology for inconsistencies, hypocrisy, or just forgetting a whole lot of stuff that I actually drove. Right, we got a whole lot of cars to get through, so let's crack on. Ferrari 12 cilindri. Right, I'll be honest, I'm not totally sold on the way this car looks. Ferrari said they wanted us to be bewildered by the 12 cylindri's design before growing to love it, and I am still in the bewildered phase, definitely. Also, the one I drove was painted in a fetching shade of what I believe they call heavily soiled nappy in Italian. Just no. But at the same time, the 12 cylindri is unbelievable to drive, and it's a naturally aspirated 12-cylinder supercar. We need to celebrate these while they're still around, because they might not be around for much longer. It's an A. Audi Q8 Edition Dakar. It's a massive, fast electric SUV inspired by Audi's all-conquering Dakar rally buggy. That is a totally wonderful idea. Is it an idea that anyone, anywhere in the entire world asked for? No. Is it an idea that anyone, anywhere in the entire world will actually buy? Also, no. Sorry, Audi, it's an F. BMW M2. Now, I know a lot of people got hung up on the M2's Lego block looks. I say, get over it. Sure, it looks like it was designed in Minecraft, but also, it's a 460 odd horsepower rear drive pint-sized German muscle car. Hang on a minute, not pint-sized because it's German, isn't it? It's metric, so let's do that again. It's a 480 PS rear drive 568 milliliter sized German muscle car. It's also a solid B. Aston Martin DB12 Volante. If we're nitpicking, and let's be honest, we usually are, there is a bit of turbo lag, and if you're after ultimate driving performance, you would go for the coupe instead of the convertible. But come on, it's a 670 horsepower twin turbo drop top, and it looks like this. If I'm planning a summer road trip to my villa in the French Riviera, the Volante is the car I am taking. I mean, I don't have a villa on the French Riviera or an Aston DB12 Volante, but if I did, then I would, if you get me. A. Audi S3. It's good, it's solid, it's capable. But you know when you buy a bottle of hot sauce called something like Louisiana Disembowler with a label covered in skulls and chilies and health warnings, and then you try it and it doesn't blow your brain clean out of your head, it just kind of mildly tingles. That's the S3. Nice, fine, too tame. C. Range Rover Sport SV. So they tried to turn a Range Rover into a lightweight, track-focused performance thing, which is kind of like trying to turn an English Mastiff into a Greyhound. I can't really see it working without violating a whole bunch of laws of nature. Give them their credit though, because they gave it a good go. The Range Rover Sport SV goes around the track way better than it has any right to do, but it's still a very silly idea. Carbon wheels to lower the center of gravity. Stupid. D. Porsche Taycan, the daddy of premium fast EVs, second generation, better than ever. B. Audi RS e-tron GT, the stepdaddy of premium fast EVs. Again, second gen, again, a B. Maserati MC20 and Corvette Z07. I drove these two head-to-head out in the States earlier this year, and I'll be honest, wasn't the worst day in the office, and I loved them both stateside. But back here in the UK, with a bit of distance, which one do I miss the most? Well, the Maserati looks gorgeous, super fun to drive, super playful, accessible, not too serious, nice doors, but at the same time, that V6 engine sounds, what's the word I'm looking for? Pants. Yeah, whereas the Corvette, my sweet, sweet Corvette, yeah, we may have hit it off. What of it? Honestly, with a bit of distance, I think the Z07 might actually be better than the majority of sports cars we make in Europe. It's a big call, but I stand by it. C for the Maserati, A for my dear, beloved Corvette. Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat. It's the most powerful SUV in the world. It's unbelievable value for money. It's faintly terrifying on a racetrack. It munches through fuel like John Wick munches through bad guys. It clearly is going to get an S or an F. I'll give it a C. Porsche Panamera, in a word, I'd call this car business-like, unless that's two words. No, I'm pretty sure it's one word, business-like, yeah. No fuss, no drama. The Panamera just gets the job done. If I was, let's say, a contract killer, this is the car I would drive, although I'm obviously not a contract killer. Although that's what a contract killer would say if he was doing a video about cars and he was like, anyway, let's move on. It's a B. Audi R8 GT, more than 600 horsepower, rear wheel drive, very tricky to drive. It tries to spit you off the track at every possible opportunity. You're constantly dicing with danger, hovering in the margins between looking like a hero or looking very dead. Obviously, I loved it. Solid B. Mercedes-AMG S63. I've got so many questions about this car. It's deeply, comprehensively baffling. Like, what is it? Is it a muscle car? Is it a luxury car? Why is it loud on the outside, but quiet on the inside? Why does it make a fake noise if it has a V8? Why does that fake noise sound like this? Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the S63, but it also made all the corners of my brain ache trying to understand it. It's a C for confusing. Tesla Model 3 Performance. I really like this car. It's quick, great to drive. It's clearly A tier, maybe even edging towards S. Or at least it would be if the UK version didn't have 50 horsepower less than the American one. Elon, come on, what gives? What, you don't think we can handle extra power? We can handle it. Give us our horses, and then you can have your A. Until then, it's a B. Look at me picking a fight with Donald Trump's best mate. That's gonna end well, isn't it? Anyway, what's next? McLaren Artura Spider. Okay, so yeah, this one's good. It's fast, it looks great, but forgive me for getting hung up on some very tiny details here. It did try to kill me. Maybe being a bit dramatic here, but while I was driving the Artura Spider, it suffered what is technically known as a total engine shutdown situation, which if I'd been on the outside lane of a motorway rather than on a helpful bit of downhill on a mountain in the south of France, could have been quite messy. Watch the video, link down below for the full story, but I'm not a merciful man. The Artura betrayed me and it shall not be forgiven. C. So many cars still to get through though. We've driven so much fast stuff this year. Let's go quick fire. Rolls-Royce Spectre, serious luxury, silly doors, C. BMW M5 Touring, that's the estate, fast, doesn't feel like an M car, feels like an elephant in the corners, D. BMW M5 Saloon, fast, doesn't feel like an M car, feels like a slightly smaller elephant in the corners, C. Porsche Macan Electric Turbo, rabid in a good way, C. Ferrari 296 GTS, unbelievably quick, not as pretty as it should be, so good though, S tier. Audi S6 e-tron, fine, D. Aston Martin Vantage, simply sensational, A. Everati 911, now as a thing to look at, this car I would put in the S tier, definitely, right? As a thing to drive, F. Hyundai Ioniq 5N, now we're talking. I loved this. Pure, unhinged, techie brilliance, proper mad scientist vibes. To me, this is the spiritual successor to the Nissan GTR. But here's the interesting question, right? Judged as an EV against other EVs, the 5N is clearly an S. But as a fast car, judged against other fast cars, petrol, hybrid, the whole lot, guess what? It's also an S. Fight me. Shelby Cobra CSX 10,000. So I drove this a few months ago, and the good news is, I think my hearing is finally recovering. What? I said I think my hearing's finally sorry. Jokes. So the CSX 10,000 is very loud. It's expensive, it's also very loud, and it's impractical. And did I mention it's also very, very loud? A memorable experience, but on behalf of my ears, it's an E. Undrivable for more than like 15 minutes at a time without ear defenders. Aerial Nomad 2. See, everyone talks about the apocalypse, right? Like it's some kind of a bad thing. But I can see some upsides, because when the apocalypse does come, and it will, I reckon this is the perfect excuse to get myself an aerial nomad and go skidding around the desolate wastelands, battling the handful of other survivors for humanity's last bags of Haribo. And when it comes to tankfastics, I fight dirty. What I'm saying is, I loved the Nomad, and it's gonna cheer up the end of days no end. I give this an S. Porsche Taycan GT. Now then, I gave the regular Taycan a B, so this faster one must be an A or an S, right? Nah, wrong. Yeah, it's an amazing technical exercise, but also it's got rear doors, but no rear seats. It's an electric car built almost exclusively for the racetrack. And I've been to quite a few racetracks. Guess how many of them have EV rapid charging facilities? Yeah, Porsche, you gone mad. One day, the work you've done with this car will be used by a different car, and then it will make sense. But until then, nah, love the ambition, but it's an E. Lamborghini Revuelto, the plug-in hybrid successor to the amazing Aventador. Having driven it, I can't help but thinking, what if they hadn't made the Revuelto so complicated? Like, what if they just stripped away all that dual powertrain complexity and just made it lighter and simpler and more back to basics? But then I also can't help but thinking, nah, it rocks just the way it is. Yeah, the Revuelto is insanely complicated, but it also delivers to devastating effect. The looks, incredible. Performance, huge. Sound, amazing. Price, terrifying. It's everything a mad Italian hypercar should be. Give the big lad an A. Maserati Grecale Trofeo. Looks good for an SUV. Sounds good for an SUV. But if you strip away that voluptuous Italian bodywork, what have you got? You got a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yeah, E. Mercedes-AMG GT. Now we're talking. AMG are back. Now, after the not very inspiring C63 hybrid and the quite rubbish fast EQS, this is proof that AMG are at their best when they're building noisy, muscly petrol cars with big, noisy, muscly petrol car engines. I am loving it, and I'm giving it a B for brutish. Porsche 911 GTS T Hybrid. The best thing I can say about the 911 Hybrid is that it doesn't feel like a hybrid, and that is excellent news. You just got masses of torque, even at low revs, which is great. Do I wish you could have it with a manual gearbox? Yes. Am I gonna mark it down for that? No, of course not. It's an A. Bentley Continental GT. Oh yes, the best just got better. Going hybrid hasn't ruined the Continental. If anything, it's improved it. Convertible or coupe, this car remains magnificent. Actually, do you remember that imaginary villa I've got on the French Riviera? Thinking about it, maybe I wouldn't drive my imaginary DB12 down there. Maybe I'd drive my imaginary Bentley Continental instead. Tough one. Maybe I could drive one and my imaginary girlfriend could drive the other one. Not my imaginary girlfriend, my real girlfriend. I think I might just call my girlfriend imaginary. And I suppose now she will be imaginary, won't she? Anyway, you get my point. Bentley Continental GT, peerless with 2 S's, including one for the tier level I'm putting this into. It's an S all day long. Lotus Emea R. It's not a Lotus, is it? Not in any way, shape or form, but it is very fast and a very impressive technical achievement. However, the launch control, terrifying, and not in a good way. Terrifying in a kind of, oh my God, what's happening? I'm about to hit a tree kind of way. Imagine giving Bambi 900 horsepower. Yeah, it's a D. Okay, on to the last one. Lamborghini Urus SE. Does the world need an 800 horsepower super SUV that does massive drifts? No, it does not. Is it a better place with one in it? Absolutely. Embracing hybridity hasn't made the Urus all straight-laced and sensible. Quite the opposite, in fact. It's unleashed a fun factor that the Urus never had before. Yeah, you can waft around in your Urus under electric power for like 30 odd miles if you're in the mood, but you can also get all sorts of sideways, trust me. And that, my friends, is a wonderful thing. The Urus SE isn't an E, it's an S. We're finishing big. So there it is, the Auto Trader Fast Car 2024 tier list. And in conclusion, yeah, we've driven quite a lot of fast cars this year, haven't we? Don't thank me though, right? I'm just doing my public service. And the good news is, there's a whole bunch of more exciting, fast stuff coming down the track very soon. So stay tuned for even more epic reviews, big adventures, and also some petty bickering as well in 2025. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.